Hello, welcome to another character trait posting. Today I have found a book and it's a true story based in the days of the Depression. The Depression was a time in the history of the world, actually, but in the United States, that in which there wasn't very much money and there wasn't very much work, so the families were really poor and desperate in many of the situations. This is, did I say that it's a true story? The author of the book is called Eliza Wheeler. This story is called Home in the Woods. And this story is about Eliza's grandmother and what happened to her. It's about a family that was caught in a really bad situation. And when they were in this situation, they could have become dishonest, stolen, fought, argued, became angry, but they took this situation and worked really hard together and turned it into a good situation. That's what people with good character has. Do you know, it's really easy to be good when everything is going your way. The test comes when everything is hard. Are we still able to have good character and do the things that we're supposed to do? So let me read you this story called Home in the Woods by Eliza Wheeler. She's the author and the illustrator. The author is the person who writes the words, and the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. So this Eliza Wheeler did both. This is my family. Marv, Rich, age 10. Marv is age 8. Rich, age 10. Roy, age 14. He's the oldest. Mom, age 34. And little Eva here, 3 months old, just a little young baby. B, age 12. And this is me, Marvel, age 6. And Lowell, age 4. So how many members in the family are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children and 1 mother. Where's the dad? Dad lives with the angels now. And we need to find a new home. And it's summertime. Deep in these woods, we find a shack. How would you describe a shack? What is a shack? It's a building that's all broken down. It's hot outside, but the shack looks cold and empty, like I feel on the inside. Why do you think this little girl feels so empty on the inside? You never know what treasures we'll find, says Mom. In the shack, we don't see any treasures. There's a rusty oven, dusty shelf, potbelly stove, box springs, that's what a bed is called, empty crates, and wooden table. Right here. But Lowell and Eva find a door in the floor. Below is a root cellar filled with old glass jars, a tin pail, a pile of rags, and a pitcher pump that goes up and down, and out comes a stream of cool, clear water. That's going to be a blessing for the family, isn't it? This place will do just fine, says my big brother Ray, but it doesn't seem like much of a house to me. Outside, the ground is a blanket of rotting leaves. Dal and Bee dig underneath to find soft, dark, rich soil. The seeds from our old garden can go here, says Bee. When the crystal rains fall, our seeds slowly take root. Some treasures take a little time, says Mom. The songs of happy frogs echo through the trees. Did I show that long enough? Look at the frogs on the lily pads in the pond. The woods are a tangle of birch, poplar, pine, and sugar maple. Marv finds the secret path of white-tailed deer woven all around. We know about white-tailed deer, don't we? We know about mule deer. So remember, the family's really poor. They don't have any money. Their home is just a shack. They can't go to stores. They can't go to restaurants. They don't go to school. So look how they make such a bad situation into a good one. The paths lead us to a twisting trout creek, an empty beaver lodge, and a blooming berry patch with sweet jewels of blue and red. We fill our pail, Marv's hat, Ray's bag. Lo fills his empty belly. So look at these things and see what they found. What are the red and blue jewels that they found, you think? Wild berries, yeah. They just scrounge through the forest to find what they can find in the food. Our laughter echoes through the trees. See the little brother, how he's leaning against the tree? He's the one that filled his tummy full of the berries. Autumn. Cool winds come and spice up the air and fill it with rust and ruby leaves. Mom walks into town to do chores for pay, so we take care of chores at the shack. Rich writes them on paper slips that we draw from a hat. So do you understand what's happening? The mom has to go into town trying to earn a little bit of money. She'll do house cleaning and things like that. And the older brother has written different jobs on little pieces of paper and put them in the hat. And then the kids draw the job, and they each do a different part of the job that has to be done. Each of the chores have to be done to keep the family going and keep them happy. Look at the brother with the baby on his back. And the brother hanging out clothes. That's usually, people used to think that was a woman's job. They're not complaining. They're not fighting. They have the good character to work together and make things better for their family. Sister cutting the wood, that was the job that she drew. Look at the two brothers pulling weeds and vegetables. And here's Marvel sweeping the house, sidewalk, what needs to be swept. Oh, look at your garden has produced. It's got all the food on the table. We fill the glass jars with Mom's berry preserves and the harvest from our garden. We'll save them for winter and stack them in the cellar like buried treasures. Pretty smart. Lots of work. It takes lots of work to take the produce from the garden and preserve it and save it for winter time. But they will have food because of that. When we need more supplies, we head to Burnett's General Store. The windows are full of marvelous things. I want you to pay attention to these children looking in the store and looking at all the prizes they could have. Can you see him wishing and washing and wishing and hoping? But Mom's chore money can only buy some basics. And here comes the big brother out carrying flour and things like that. Baking flour, soap, flakes, and lamp oil. We say nothing at all on the long walk home. See the brother coming out of the store? And there's the family walking home, and they're silent. Why do you suppose they're silent? Kind of disappointed that they couldn't buy anything more as they looked in the window and all the things they wanted, but the money didn't cover enough. They didn't complain. They didn't fight. They didn't protest, but look what happens. Look what they do when they get home. Back at the shack, we invent a game called General Store. We can buy anything we want. So the children create a little pretend store out of their yard and out of the things around their little shack. Rich is the banker, Marv pumps gas, B sells fine hats. Lowell is the jeweler, and I display mud sweets. Our laughter echoes through the trees once again. Winter. The days are dark and bitter winds blow. Ray and Marv trek out to hunt for food. Bee huddles in the lamp's glow. Mom teaches her that scraps put together make colored patchwork. I huddle by the warm stove. Rich teaches me that letters put together make words, and words put together make stories. So the brother is teaching the sister how to read. And the mother's teaching the sister how to sew. Most days, Ray and Marv return from their hunt with nothing at all, but tonight they are proud and tall. We plunder our stores, and Mom works the oven like magic. Plunder is kind of rob. They go down into their cellar and they choose some food that they've been preserved for wintertime. And then the mother makes a feast for kings and queens of the forest, Rich says. So pay attention to the kids at the table with their crowns on their heads. See how they've made a fun little adventure out of such a sad time. And look what kind of thing the brothers brought home from hunting. Can you tell that that's a turkey? And look at their crowns and look how happy they are. Snow falls in a blanket of diamonds all around the shack. The jack pines sway above us as we fall asleep close together, but Mom stays awake into the night, whispering to the stars. The mom must be really lonely without the dad, and yet she's a brave woman to be able to keep her family together and alive. Look at this. Look at the children asleep in the bed. Spring. After many months, warm, fresh air comes pouring into the shack. The cottonwoods are all in bloom. Me and Bree carry Mom's loaf bread and blueberry jam to the neighbor's farm. It says Hickerson Farm. They fill our pail with milk and our hat with golden eggs. I'll bet they were glad to see spring come after a cold, cold winter. In the back of the book, it says that the family were so cold that the one brother would sit all day and just put wood in the fire to keep the little shack warm so they didn't freeze to death. We go slow and careful on the path. Whoops, yeah, okay, they took the milk, they took the bread and the jam to the farm, and now they're coming home with milk and eggs. We go slow and careful on the path home. Bee calls out the flowers' names. The songs of happy birds echo through the trees. Here in these woods, I find my brothers, my sister, my mom, and me marvel. The shack, all wrapped in tar paper, looks different now, warm and bright and filled up with love, like I feel on the inside. Do you remember how she felt at the beginning of the story when they first moved into the shack? Empty, yeah. Again, it takes good, strong character to be able to make bad situations doable, where it's easy to be good and right and do all the things we're supposed to do when everything's going our way. But it takes a lot of courage, a lot of honesty, a lot of peacemaking, a lot of all the things that we've talked about, hard work to make bad situations good. That's one of the reasons we need good character inside of us. Always remember how much I love you. Always remember how wonderful you are.